do a quick video of the new bumper I got. It's Dirtworx. It's from a guy who makes them locally. He's out of Utah. I think the price I paid was like $400. I'll check and see and get the exact price. And it's a pretty stout bumper. He makes two versions. This one sits a little closer than the other one he's got. Has like jerry can mounts, and the tire sits off pretty far. I really didn't like the way the tire set off that far, so I got this one. He's got D-ring mounts, and these mounts, they actually penetrate all the way through, and he's got welds on the back side of the bumper. And the same thing on the hitch. This hitch penetrates all the way through, and it's welded on the back side. I mean, the overall fit and finish is pretty good on this bumper. The welds are decent. I mean, better than I could ever do. The latch is kind of the only weird thing. It's like, I don't know how to, I'd say for street use it's alright, but for off-road, what I'm going to do is tack weld a 3/8 nut right there and a screw bolt in to keep it locked into place. And he's got a stop right there, which it sits pretty tight. Like I said, everything penetrating through the bumper is a real good feature. Another good feature he's got, which is right here, he's got a drain hole, so when the water drains, comes down, it actually got a place to drain so it doesn't rust up. Up here, I didn't paint this one yet. I just put bed liner on here. This is actually a high lift mount. You adjust this and it slides up. I'm probably gonna make another one, because if you look from the side profile, I can't raise it all the way up. What I'm probably gonna do is just weld some up and come off and angle up and then up with it. So my jack will mount up here. It's a decent bump. The swing is all right. It's pretty smooth. He's got a little Zerk fitting right there. One thing I'm not sure as far as internally, but when I was filling it with grease, it kind of seemed like the grease was going inside here. Maybe there's a hole in there, I'm not sure. But I pumped quite a bit of grease, opened it up, and there wasn't a whole lot of grease in here, so I just manually put a bunch of axle grease in there. I said it fits pretty tight. The only major complaint I have is right here. He's got, there's 4 mounting areas. There's one there, 2, and the same thing on the other side there. Now the problem is he only welded on one side, right there and there. He's got decent penetration, but if you look at the metal, it comes to an angle. So the only thing holding this bumper on is a little bit of weld with a little bit of metal right there. I mean, be it, there's 4 individual brackets, so you get 8 weld points. So I don't think it's going anywhere. But it kind of makes it a moot point that the D-ring goes all the way through and welds on the backside. And the same with the hitch. It goes all the way through, welds on the backside. But the only thing holding the bumper are these little welds right here and here. As far as the way it mounts, you got your 2 factory holes right there, and he has 2 additional mounts. You got to drill those out. And then on the bottom, right there, he's got another bracket bolted up. So I don't think his bumper's going anywhere. What I'm probably gonna end up doing is just throwing a bead down the inside, and maybe a little cross, an angle right there, just to stiffen it up. But I mean, all in all, it's a decent bumper, especially considering the price. I like the fact that it's built right here in the US. It's not some China import like pretty much everything else is getting to be nowadays. He's got a little Dirtworx emblem right there. Like I said, this bumper does come unfinished. I got it. It was had a fair amount of surface rust, no big deal. Just sprayed it with some rust converter and then hit it with a bed liner. They came with all the hardware needed. The washers were a little weak. I'm probably gonna change those out. When I started hitting with the impact, it started to buckle the washers and concave them in. Said it fits pretty good. You see, that's a 33-inch tire. You see the spacing back there. Probably gonna do is end up mounting some Rotopack mounts back there and stick them behind the tire. So I do a little more in-depth review. I just put it on today, so I haven't even rode with it. Not sure as far as rattle. but it looks far cleaner than what I had. I had this giant heavy bumper where this whole assembly weighs less than the bumper I had. Like I said, only real complaints is the way it attaches and mounts up. I mean, it's for road use, I don't think it's going anywhere. Like I said, I'm just going to tack a nut, put a piece of rod there. And other complaint is he didn't weld the inside of this bracket, making it kind of a weak point. But I mean, we'll see how it holds up. I'm going to give it a shot the way it is. If it does start to come loose, I'm just going to throw a little bit more of a bead down there. I do like the fact right here the hitch is actually in the bumper as opposed to hanging low like most bumpers is tacked right on the bottom. I mean, it's not rated for any tow capacity obviously, but no doubt it could tow whatever the Wrangler's rated at. Like I said, the Wrangler's not rated to tow that much just because of the weight of the vehicle, so I'm no doubts this thing's going to handle whatever you tow behind it. I said I'm not too sure I'm going to use these D-rings as recovery points just because the way the welds are tied in right there. And then also the bumper itself, it's mounted to this real thin piece of metal right here. This is the factory bumper, the back piece what the factory bumper attaches to. This thing's really thin. What I'm probably going to do is stick a piece of a flat metal all the way across the length of the bumper just to reinforce it. I said it's a pretty decent bumper. So give you a better view of it. Like all in all, for the price, it's Dirtworx. I'll put his website down there in case y'all want to check him out.